with the oximeter, which is great for testing your heart rate and your oxygen levels. This is infrared technology, which means gone are the days of having to take a regular glass thermometer and try to get your kids to take their temperature that way or any other way. We all know what we're talking about. This is completely accurate. It will give you that temperature that you need. It'll hold on to measurements for you. And then you can also check your heart rate using the oximeter. Infrared technology means no touch, right? So when you use this, all you do is you point it wherever you need to point it. Your forehead, it's all you do, about an inch away, and it's gonna give you an accurate reading. It's an easy to read, extra large display. I don't know if you can see that display on there, right there. I'll hold it up so you can see it. Hopefully it'll stay lit until we get the shot. There it is. So I'm at about 97.6, I'm a degree down, but it's ice cold in here, so that doesn't surprise you that my skin temperature is a little cooler. But you're gonna get instant results every single time. It'll give you both Celsius or Fahrenheit. You get a green display, green is good. You get a red display, red may not be so good. It'll not only do your body, it'll do objects as well. So if you're doing bath water for the little ones, or you just wanna check and see if something is the right temperature, you can point this at it as well. The oximeter, you simply put it on your finger and it'll give you the readout, an accurate readout, clinical readout for your heart rate, also your blood oxygen levels, which is hugely important. $99.95, I've got a limited supply. It's sold out, we just got them back in. If you wanna get it, it's 722-488. Rob Moss is our health expert and overall good guy, and he's joining us. Rob, it's good to see you. Now we're offering the Easy Read thermometer, and we're doing the oximeter as a whole package for total health, buddy.
Thank you, Guy. That is fantastic. I love that they put these two things together. So the first thing I want to show you is this touch-free thermometer from Vivitar. This is ergonomically designed. It is lightweight, and ergonomically designed is a big fancy word for it. Fits really nicely in a human hand. So this is going to be very simple for you to pick up and use right out of the box. You put 2 AA batteries in it and you're ready to go. And I'm gonna show you just how quickly you can get a temperature reading with this thermometer. So you're gonna take it, like you said, Guy, you're gonna hold it about 1 inch to 2 inches from your forehead. You're gonna pull this little lever right here, and within 1 second, you hear a beep, and we already have a reading here. It is 98.3. And you mentioned this green backlight here, Guy. This is letting me know that that temperature fell into a normal range. As you mentioned, if this had been out of range, that backlight would turn red. It does that at 99.3 degrees, and then at 100.4 degrees, it will not only turn red, but it will also give you a beep that's going to alert you that that temperature is elevated. So this is also going to store your readings. It's going to store 10 measurements in its memory so that you can then scroll through, and I'm just going to show you right here, these little buttons on the side. This is an up and a down arrow, and you can actually scroll through and get your results. Let me turn it on for you first. And you can go through and see the last 10 measurements that this has in its memory. You can just go back through. And why is that important, Guy? That's something that you want in a thermometer so that you can compare your temperature over the course of a day or over the course of a few days. If you do find that it's elevated and you do some sort of intervention, like an over-the-counter fever reducer or something your doctor recommends for you, this is going to help you track the effectiveness of those interventions. It also measures. Go ahead, Guy.
No, I was going to say, you know what's great too, Rob, is that you can get that result so quickly. You know, a lot of times, like when we're here at work, you know, we don't have time to put a thermometer in our mouth. We don't have time for that. We need to get the result as fast as possible. And this is a portable way to take it with you, so you could take this to work. You could take this to a place where maybe they are asking you to take your temperature before you get in. It is so quick and so exact and accurate. And that's a really big deal. You know, these are so hard to find on the marketplace right now. When this whole thing came out, you could not find a thermometer anywhere. I thought I had one. You know what, Rob, I tell you this story. I had one for Danny, but it was the one you put in your ear. Have you ever really tried to use that thing? It's a pain in the ear, is what it is.
Yeah, no, it really is, Guy.
You got to put a little sleeve on it because you're sticking it in your ear, and and then it's not accurate, and then you got to hit the button like 5 times. This is one button touch, and you know your temperature, right?
One second, literally
Yeah.
1 second. So yes, it's absolutely instantaneous results. It's giving you clinical accuracy, so you know that the results that you're getting are accurate within about 0.4 degrees. So this is really solving a lot of problems. As you mentioned, Guy, that's an old tympanic membrane thermometer where we used to have to pull the ear at a certain angle and adjust it just right to get an accurate reading. This takes all the guesswork out of that. And you know, we're living in a very interesting time with this public health crisis that we're all experiencing with coronavirus and COVID-19, which is the illness that it causes. And we're seeing temperature screenings at our places of business. We're seeing them in airlines. We're seeing them, some restaurants are screening before you can come in. We're seeing it at schools. This really is part of our new normal. And if you haven't updated your thermometer recently, if you're still using some of that old technology, now's the time to really get one of these in your home so that you have a good screening tool to monitor your temperature, because that is one of the first things that we see with COVID-19 infection is an elevation in body temperature. So this is a great screening tool for that. And as you mentioned, Guy, this not only measures the temperature of the body, which is increasingly important and in everybody's awareness right now, but it also measures the temperature of objects around the house. And so I want to show you how that is done with this unit. There's a little switch here on the side, a little toggle design switch. You just push that forward, and that puts us in surface mode. You can see the word surface there. And I've got a couple of items here. There's a baby bottle, which is something that we need to know the temperature of. Back in the day, we used to just put a little dot on our wrist and see how it felt. If it felt okay, we went ahead and gave it to our baby. But that was really a guess. And so now this takes the guesswork out of that. I'm going to pull the little lever. The machine is going to come on. And I already have a result in 1 second, 115.7 degrees. That is way too hot to give to baby.
Right.
We want that about body temperature, 98.6. And I just want to show you how quickly we can go from hot to something cold here. This is 57.8 degrees, and that is something that we couldn't do with old thermometers. And I just want to show you this also while I have it here so you can see. There's a button on the side that says mode, and that's actually going to switch us back and forth between Celsius and Fahrenheit. And I love this feature because a lot of the older thermometers would let you choose Celsius or Fahrenheit before you measure, but they didn't convert it for you in real time. So this is really another feature that's going to help you around the house. When you see something needs to be stored at a certain degree Celsius, this is going to convert that for you so that you can make sure that it's at the proper temperature. And so we all understand how important it is to be monitoring our temperature these days. And again, the latest technology, infrared, completely contact-free, Guy, and that's what I really love about this is that it doesn't touch anyone in the household, so you don't have to worry about spreading germs between members of your family within the house. And what Vivitar has done here is they've bundled this pulse oximeter with the thermometer. And the pulse oximeter, what it really does is it measures the oxygen saturation in your blood, and it's a way to spot check and see how well oxygenated the bloodstream is. It also will tell you your pulse rate and something called a perfusion index, which speaks to the amount of circulation in the finger that you're measuring. So I just want to show you how simple this is to use. There's one little button in the front. You're simply going to turn the machine on. It's going to come on. It's a little clip design here, so it opens up this way, and you're simply going to put one finger in there, and it's going to give your finger a little hug. It's completely painless, and we just wait just a few seconds, and we're going to have a reading here. It's measuring, and so I already have it. You can see my oxygen saturation is 99%, pulse rate is 115, and that little number down at the bottom, the 2.4, that is the perfusion index, and that's telling me that I have pretty good circulation in the tip of my finger. So why would you want to measure your oxygen saturation? It is one of the fastest ways that we can evaluate how effectively your heart is pumping oxygenated blood through your body. And it can detect even the slightest change in lung function. So when we're looking at oxygen saturation, we want to see that number between 94 and 100. Anything lower than 94, we want to start paying attention. And then anything under 92, you certainly want to keep an eye on that and alert your doctor that your oxygen saturation is a little low. So again, in this time that we're living in, one of the things we see with coronavirus and COVID-19, one of the initial effects of that is that it affects the lungs and its ability to have good gas exchange inside the lung. And so this is a way for you to see exactly how well your body's being oxygenated. So these two things together are very powerful screening tools that I think everybody should have at home. Get these in your home so that you're prepared. You know, we're seeing an uptick in these cases lately, and you know, we certainly don't want to be living in fear, but we do want to be empowered. And this is something that is going to help you do that. This is a complete system that Vivitar has put together here, and it is going to be something very essential for all of us moving forward.
You know, and it's the old, you know, physician, heal thyself, right? I mean, take care of yourself, right? Get the information that you need, and whether it's knowing what your heart rate is, knowing what your temperature is. You know, Rob, you know this better than anybody. You know, what's the first thing you do when you go to the doctor? What's the first thing they do? They take your blood pressure, right?
That's right. They take your blood pressure.
That's
all your vital signs.
Yeah, they take all your vitals, because that is a barometer, that's an indicator, you know, of what's going on inside. That's all that they have. If they know everything is normal, they're like, okay, let's relax, sit down and talk about some of the other things in your life. You can do this for yourself, and whether it's your children, whether it's your parents, whether it's you going off to work, maybe you're starting work for the first time and you're like, you know what? I want to make sure I'm in the 98s. I want to make sure I'm not 101. I owe that to myself and everybody out there. So this is a way to prepare. You know, this is never, I mean, it's, you know, we're dealing with it more now, obviously, than we ever had before. It's become very important to know things like that, indicators of how healthy we are. But we've always needed to know that. You know, we needed to, when Danny was little, the whole reason I spent, you know, $100 on that ear thermometer is because when kids are little and, you know, I only have the one, I mean, you're so worried and panicked when you go up to them and you give them a kiss goodnight and you feel their forehead is warm. You worry about them so much, and the only thing that makes you feel better is this, because then you look and you're like, 99, you're okay. Maybe you got a little bug or something like that. But if you see 101 or 102 or 103, right, you start to get a little bit nervous.
Right.
How are you going to know that unless you have one of these? Well, you can always get up and drive your kids to the emergency room, I guess, but it's a lot easier to have this. And I think one of the things that's going to definitely change about it, everybody is going to have one of these eventually, Rob, or they should.
Yes, I absolutely agree, Guy. This is something that's part of our new normal, and we're going to see this everywhere. And one of the things that I really love about this, we talked about, it's contact-free, so you're not worried about cross-contamination in the household. It's instant, it's clinically accurate, and it's a way for you to screen for an elevated temperature so that you can be alerted. Sometimes we can have a low-grade temperature and we're unaware.
Right.
And so getting this information is going to help you know what's going on inside of your body so that you can take the steps to protect yourself and those around you, and then our larger community that we're all a part of. Very important that we all
can't keep our heads in the sand, Rob. We got to know what's going on out there. It could save your life, and that's something that's really important. Rob, you're always such a pleasure to work with and talk to. Thank you, my friend, for helping out everybody today and getting them something I think everybody needs. We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you, Guy.
You bet, buddy. 722-488. Grab it while you can. Everybody needs one. You know you need it, and getting that oximeter is a real bonus. We've got more coming up right